How's everybody doing? This is Ruben once again with Philosophy. I want to thank you for watching this video. If you liked any of my past videos, please subscribe to my channel, like or comment on the video, it'll be greatly appreciated. Also, make sure to visit our blog, our Facebook, our Instagram, our Twitter. We add greater and powerful information there on a regular basis, so check that out. Today I want to talk about how you can predict the future because you are creating the future that you want. You are a creator. You are a creator. You were put on this earth to create. I'll give you an example. If you look at people who are super depressed and like super mellow and melancholy all the time and are very down, like they really are depressed, like they're really bad. The reason is because they're not creating. They're not growing, they're not moving, they want to be content. They want to be content. You cannot be content. You weren't designed to be content. That is why when you reach a dream or you reach a goal, you always want something, you always want to move up. It's like when we were kids and we got gifts for Christmas, right? It's like the most exciting part of Christmas was the week before Christmas because you thought about it. You had the thoughts in your head about the enjoyable time the Christmas season is. And matter of fact, you're getting a lot of presents. So the week before Christmas was your happiest time. After Christmas, the feelings go away. Now you're like, well, now I'm waiting for my birthday, right? It's like if you're trying to achieve, a certain goal. I remember I once wanted a certain vehicle. I wanted a certain vehicle, and I was very specific with this vehicle I wanted. And I worked on getting this vehicle for about 2 to 3 years, right? Because I wanted certain vehicle and certain things on this vehicle. I got it, and the joy that I thought that I was gonna be like content went away. I enjoyed it for like a month, and then I wanted something else. Like I was like, okay, I want something else now. We are never content. We weren't designed to be content. That is why in a relationship, if you're not growing in a relationship, both, the relationship will not be stable, because if you're focusing on being content, it's not gonna work, because that's not how life's supposed to be. We were meant to be continually growing. We're like a flower. Think about a flower. A flower is never standing still. It's always either growing or it's dying, but it's never standing still. Think about it. You're the same way. If you're not growing, you're dying. You're not never standing still. And when you decide that you want to stand still, that's when you fall into depression and your life becomes miserable, because you're not going after what you want. Think about it. There's just a statistic that was made on people who had an incurable disease, basically a disease that they were given certain months to live. And basically, the research shows that people who actually had a dream or certain thing that they really felt like they needed to accomplish lived longer than expected, than ever expected, than people who actually didn't. And this was a research that was done. Like people who, for example, maybe, there were examples in that study where there were people who wanted children but never had children. Well, they they didn't sort of broke down until they felt like until they had they had children. Like, sort of like, you give the body reasons to keep going, right? There were people who wanted to leave their families, leave their families and have them secure. So they focused on having them feeling secure. And then that's when, and then we're talking about incurable, like, they were given 3 to 6 months to live, and they lived for like 5 to 10 years more. So it's like some in the study, wanted to leave their families secure and financially and emotionally secure. So they focused on that, and then they outlived what the doctor said, and they accomplished their goals. It's like we're meant to keep growing. There was a show, I think, a couple years ago. It was called Breaking Bad, and apparently the show was about a cancer patient who, the family was doing bad financially. So he was like this genius scientist, and he came up with this. The show is about drug trafficking and whatnot, but it's very interesting because in that show I think he was given 6 months to a year to live, something like that. But it really shows like what that study that I was just talking about was about. And like, he was given 6 months to a year to live, but he felt he wanted to leave his family secure. He had a baby on the way. He wanted that baby to, not go without. So he focused on building this whatever recipe of this drug, and sort of like, build wealth from there. It's like he went into survival mode, right? So that shows how he like outlives these 6 months to a year, and then like he gets into remission and sort of like starts like, rebuilding himself. Like the cancer goes away. And that happens a lot with people with incurable diseases. Like, research shows that whenever they have a purpose, they sort of like, don't allow their disease to take them over, and they don't die from it. They die from something else. A good example is Franklin D. Roosevelt, the president during World War II. He was diabetic. And he was to the point that they amputated, I believe, his foot or a couple of toes or something. But think about it, like, this man had died. He was like a severe diabetic during the time he was leading a country in a world war, right? And they told him, and I believe they quoted him as well. They interviewed him or something, but he said that basically they told him like, how are you handling all this, with your disease? And he was like, what disease? Or like, I don't have time to think about my disease. I have a country I'm leading here to, trying to, not have them, not have my country torn apart, right? So it's like whenever you have a purpose, sort of like, no matter what you have, no matter what's in front of you, you will always overcome it. If you have that, I want to say that, what's a good word for that? Perseverance, that willing to, that purpose. So, don't let that hold you. Whatever you're going through, don't. There's nothing that can hold you down. Only you. So thank you for watching this video. If you like any of my past videos, please subscribe to my channel, like a comment on the video. See you guys next time.